yeah, folks, we're on an hour with Bob, and I am in a good mood tonight, folks. We're going to have some fun. I just got back from Thailand. Look at the soup. Take a peek at that.
Oh, that's good
I had
looking.
that soup made. Can you see it? Can you see the lining? Can you see the lining? All the piping. See the piping on the lining there? I had the soup custom made in Thailand. Guess how much? Oh, wait a minute. Should I introduce my guest already? Gina Raimondo is my guest tonight. Nice Italian girl. Are you Italian, by the way?
Yes, I'm Italian.
Well,
Gina
you're an
Marie
Italian name. I
Raimondo.
don't know.
Yeah,
Well, that could
yeah,
be a married
absolutely.
name, whatever.
No,
Italian.
no, Italian.
You're Italian.
Of
Well,
course.
nice to see you.
Nice to
meet
see you, Bob. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
This is fun.
Already.
You're making it fun. I'm
Already.
loving it.
And
Yeah.
I got to tell you something.
Yeah.
My crew will tell you, I've been doing this 22 years.
Yeah.
May 29th, I stopped my 23rd year.
God bless.
And I don't think I've had, I know it's been less than 10. I'm thinking less than 5 people that run for public office on my show.
Is that right?
That's right.
Well, I'm happy to be here.
I don't do, I don't particularly like politicians, even though
Yeah.
I've run for office myself.
Right. Oh, you have?
Yeah, I ran for lieutenant governor 4 years ago.
That's right.
Well, 3 years ago, whatever it was, yeah. And I got 21,000 votes, and I spent less than $5,000.
That's impressive.
Isn't that good?
That's impressive.
Isn't that something?
Do it again. Run again.
I thought about it, believe me.
Run
'Cause
again.
I don't like the group running for lieutenant governor. I think that, I don't have my mic on? Oh, well, why didn't you tell me I don't have a mic on? Can you hear me? Where is my mic? Is it here? Thanks a lot, Corey. Man, you're slipping. I'll tell you, you're slipping. Actually, I'm slipping, folks. I messed up. I didn't put my
There
mic
you
on. Dirty my jacket. I didn't put my mic on. Can you hear me? You can hear me anyway. I'm so loud you can hear me anyway. Anyway, Gina. Yes, I just decided to run. It was actually somebody give me the bad. I was going to run for state senate in my district.
Good.
And the state senator at the time sandbagged me. He told me he was running one more time. He says, "Oh, hang on, let me run one more time, and then you can have it next time." I said, "Well, I heard you're not running." He goes, "Oh, no, I'm running one more time, Bob." So he says, "Well, you know what you should do? You should take out papers, run for lieutenant governor, just to get your name out there back in the political game, because I ran a long time ago. I lost by 2 votes in a 3-man race, first time out." And he says, "Get your name back out there." So I thought it was a kind of good idea, just do it for the heck of it. Next morning, I find out he drops out, and one person only took out papers, wins automatically. You know who that person is?
Donna Nesselbush.
That's right.
Yeah. Interesting.
So she cakewalks right into the job. Nothing.
Yeah.
Not even have to make
That's
a sign,
too
sticker,
bad.
nothing. So I ran against her 2 years later,
Yeah.
just for GPs. Yeah.
Well, you should
I like her.
try
I mean,
running. Yeah,
don't
she's
get me
terrific.
wrong. She's a
Yeah,
very nice
she is
person. I
excellent.
like
Yeah.
her as a person. She's a very nice
and
person.
she's hardworking,
I don't hold any
smart.
grudge against
No,
her. I do
exactly.
against
Yeah.
the guy that snuck her in there. I do have a little grudge against him because he lied to me right to my face.
Can't do that. Can't lie. Can't lie.
Anyway, what
Anyway.
the heck got you into politics?
It's a crazy thing that I'm doing, isn't it? Because, well, we were talking before the show. I'm from Greenville.
Greenville girl.
Greenville girl. My parents still live in 10 Cider Lane, the house I grew up
Serious?
in. Honest to God. They're in their 80s. They still live where I grew up, 10 Cider Lane.
How many in your family?
3 kids. I'm the youngest.
Okay.
My grandpa lived in the house with us.
Grandpa.
Yeah, Pop. We called him Pop.
Pops,
Because
huh?
when his wife died, we took him in.
Yep.
You know, that's what we Italians do.
That's right,
That's what
that's
the
right,
Italians
that's
do.
right.
So he came into the house with us. So, you know, we didn't have much. We had 6 people, 3 bedrooms, a bathroom, but 2 kitchens. Because we're good Italians.
One upstairs, one downstairs.
You got it, Bob. One upstairs, one downstairs. All the good food happened in the downstairs kitchen.
Exactly.
The upstairs we kept clean.
Did you have the double parlor with the one parlor?
Of course.
Yeah, one parlor. Nobody ever
Exactly.
sat in there.
No.
You weren't allowed to sit in
Covered
there.
in sheets and plastic.
Oh yeah, of course.
Exactly.
Of course. Thick plastic. over the thing,
Exactly.
yeah.
And then the other parlor where we played and did our thing.
Did your father or your grandfather have a car with the plastic seat covers, see-through plastic
I
seat
don't
covers?
know if we
where
had
you-
that. I
yeah.
don't remember that.
A lot of them
I
had
don't
that.
remember. But we had the
You could
plastic
see
on the furniture.
You could see the design of the seat cover, but you couldn't. You
Yeah.
could never touch it.
No, but we had the plastic on the lamps. On the
Oh,
lampshade,
no kid- yeah,
on
of
the
course,
shades,
of
on the shades.
course.
Oh yeah, totally, totally. But anyway, I did very well in life. I was very lucky. I went to LaSalle, I went to Harvard, I went to Yale, I started a business. Life was good for me.
Oh, so wait a minute, Harvard and Yale.
Yeah, Harvard and Yale.
So
and
would you go to Harvard for
college.
undergrad,
Right.
and Yale to
Law school. And then I worked in New York for a while. And then I moved home. I started a business in Providence.
What kind of business?
It was an investment business. We invested in startup companies, mostly healthcare companies.
Okay.
I did a lot of medical device, medical products companies. And, you know, I have to be honest with you. I was living in Providence. I have 2 little kids.
Yeah.
Had a great job. And I just got tired of picking up the paper and seeing bad news about Rhode Island.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate it.
It
'Cause
made
I do a
me
little bit
sad.
of traveling. I hate it when I go to
Yeah.
other places and people, oh, you're from Rhode Island. Oh
Yeah,
my
it
God,
made me
this,
sad.
that. Yeah, I hate
You know,
that.
and you know what put me over the edge? One day I was reading an article in the paper, and it talked about how libraries were going to be closing, certain
Right.
libraries were going to be closing, that Rip to Bus was going to be cut, nights, weekends, holidays. And I just put the paper down and I said, I'm going to do something about it, because I took the Rip to Bus to school. I used the public library forever. My grandpa taught himself to speak English in the Providence Public Library late at night because it was open at night.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying?
It's open at 9 o'clock.
Open
It's
till
open
9
at
o'clock. So I said, we can do better. We need buses and schools and libraries so kids like me have a chance.
Right.
So I ran, and here I am.
There you go.
Here
So
I
what was
am.
your first time out? Would you run
2010, I ran for treasurer.
for? Right for treasurer.
Right for treasurer, out of the
Statewide,
chute.
out of the gate.
Statewide, out of the gate.
Out of the gate.
Well, it was an open seat because Caprio ran for
Caprio,
governor.
that's right, yeah.
So it was an open seat. I made my living in the investment business,
Right.
so I knew how to do that. Yeah, I ran and I won.
Okay.
I won. Yeah. I didn't know what to expect. No one in my family ever did politics. I didn't know really what I was getting into.
Now, were you endorsed in 2010?
I was. I was the
Now, how'd
endorsed
you get the
candidate.
endorsement out of the
Because
gate like
I
that?
was the only Democrat running.
Oh, really? Really? Yeah?
Yeah. So it was terrific. I was actually, in 2010, I was a top vote getter. I got more votes
I know that.
than anyone running for anything. So
That's
it was
what
good.
put you in the position you are today.
Right, exactly.
Because having my degree's in politics, by the way.
Yeah.
From Roger Williams. I graduated from
Nice.
Roger Williams.
That's amazing.
And I come out of college,
Yeah.
ran for state rep, lost by 2 votes in a 3-man race.
That's tough.
Ran 4 years later, after they reapportioned me out of my district. I said, screw it, I'm running again. Did I swear?
No, it's okay.
That's not a
That's
swear
not a
anymore.
swear.
It used
These
to be.
days,
It used to
no,
be, but
forget it.
not
Not
anything.
these
You know,
days.
as long as it doesn't have 4 letters and begin with an F and end with a K, it's okay. Anyway, I ran 4 years later after they reapportioned me out of my district. They took 1 year. I live in the Woodlawn area of Pawtucket.
Yeah, yeah.
They took 2/3 of it. This part of it made one district.
Yeah.
This part of it made another district, and left me and put me in the Fairlawn district with 7 streets in Woodlawn. And I ended up, the majority of my district became Fairlawn, so it's a whole different
Yeah,
world.
it's different. It's different.
Different district, different
Yeah.
ward.
Yeah.
I went from the 5th ward to the 6th ward. I
Right.
ran against everything was against me. I ran against the endorsed candidate. After getting beat by 2 votes in a 3-man race,
Yeah.
4 years later, get reapportioned out of my district, I lost by 37 votes.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I retired from that for a number of years, and then
That is amazing.
yeah. Then I took out papers years later to run
Yeah.
for councilman, only
Yeah.
because they stuck somebody in my district
Yeah.
to run because the councilman was leaving, so
Yeah.
he brought his own
Fill
person
in.
in from another
Yeah.
district, and I didn't
Yeah.
like the idea, like a fool. I take out papers to run against him. Some woman in the neighborhood decides to run, so I said, beautiful, I don't have to run now. So I approached the woman, I said, look, I'll work for you, I'll help you win because I don't want the other person to win.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't like him,
yeah,
just
yeah.
because he wasn't from my district.
Yeah.
I said, I'll help you to run. I'm going to drop out and help you. Oh, that's great. So I go down to drop out. Guess what? I can't drop out.
Why?
My name was on the ballot.
Oh, it's too late.
It's too late to get off the ballot. I announced that I'm not running.
Yeah, and
I lost by 51 votes.
Oh my God.
Not running and working for the woman.
for the other person?
And guess what? The person that ran third that election
Yeah.
is the mayor of Pawtucket now.
Grebian.
That's right.
Now, where did you grow up?
Woodlawn, Pawtucket.
You in Woodlawn.
Yes.
That's where you grew up. And you come from a big family.
Yes.
9, you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is about you.
Okay, this is about me. What do you wanna know about
You
me?
lived in Greenville. You live
Yes.
in Greenville, right?
Yep.
You still
I live in Providence.
Oh, you live in Providence
But my
now.
family, actually, it's a funny thing. My parents live where I grew up. My sister lives a mile down the road with her husband and family. My brother lives a mile down the road the other place with his wife and family. And my husband and I live in Providence.
Wow. And you said something off camera we talked about is
Yeah.
St. Aloysius Home.
St. Aloysius Home. That's where I grew up. few houses down.
And we used to spend our weekends there.
Yeah, it was a great place.
With the kids.
Yeah. They took care of those kids.
Yeah, they really did take care of us. It was an orphanage, folks.
Yeah, it was
St.
an
Aloysius.
orphanage.
So
It's
is it
not
still
there.
there?
No, the building is there, but it's not an orphanage anymore. But yeah, they loved those kids. Those kids needed a chance.
Yeah, I
So,
remember hanging around. You know, we used to go there almost every weekend. We used to go there
to play with
the kids.
Yeah, yeah. We used to go mass Sunday night at 5 o'clock. They had a mass, and so we would go there.
Well, my aunt was something. She was a religious person, very religious person. She should have been a nun, and she used to be there all the time.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You say, why am I running? Because there's kids like that still in Rhode Island. People just need a chance. If you give people a good education and just good public services, public parks, public libraries, public schools, just not a handout, but opportunity.
Right.
Just opportunity. Rhode Island would be a better place. And that's also what we need for jobs, skills.
Right.
You know, we're letting kids down. If you graduate from high school without the skills you need to think and do basic math and read, you're not going to get a job.
Well, you know what's sad? I was on a plane coming home, and this girl was behind me, and she's arguing with her sister about something. She's on one of those tablets, and she's trying to figure out the question, a math question. There's 75 barrels. 2 out of 5 of the barrels are yellow. 3 out of 5 of the barrels are blue. And it's a ratio thing. Well, all right, 2 to 5 and 3 to 5. And it's 75. The number's 5. It's real simple. Do you know what this girl did? She's doing yellow circles.
Yeah.
2 out of 5 yellow circles and 3 out of 5 blue circles. And she's filling this whole tablet, and she's going from page to page of the tablet. I go, you can't figure it out. And by the way, she had a calculator too on the table. And she couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, that's scary. That's scary. The other day I was talking to a guy from Electric Boat, and they're doing a big expansion. They want to hire thousands of people, and I said, well, I want you to do it in Rhode Island. And he said, well, look, the issue is skills. We need people with skills.
No engineers.
Well, I said that. I said, well, you need engineers. He said, you know, Gina, it's not even engineering, just basic skills. I said, what do you mean? He said, like fractions.
They can't do it.
He said,
they can't
we need
do
people
it.
to do fractions, reading,
Decimals, fractions. They can't do it.
Problem solving, thinking, how to work in a team. You know, basic skills. So, anyway, we gotta make this happen for people so they can get these jobs.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. We're gonna go to a singer for a minute here, but before we go, I'm going to tell you one thing. I learned this I was over in Asia, and when you think of Asians, you think of smart. They're sharp. They're smarter than we are. They're not.
No.
They're not smarter than we are. They just work harder than we do.
You got that right. Yep.
I talked to some kids on the east side, Asian kids that work in the store with their parents and work in the restaurant, the Asian restaurant with their parents, Chinese restaurant with their parents. They go to school from morning till night. When they live in Asia, they go to school at 7 o'clock in the morning. They get out at noon. They go home for 2 hours with homework from noon to 2. They eat. At 2, they go back to school. They do more work till 5 o'clock. They go home for an hour, go back to school at 6, and then they work till 7 or 8 o'clock and get homework when they go home. I mean, that's over the top, but
Where's that?
this is in China.
Yeah.
This is in China. This is how they
That's a lot.
operate.
But here's the thing: our kids are going to be competing with those kids for jobs. So
Exactly.
we
And
gotta-
they saying no shot.
well,
Because you know why? Because we made it too easy for kids. We took away corporal punishment. Okay, there's a reason for that. And,
I agree with that one.
I agree with that to a point. I think some kids, good whack in the behind sometimes. Well, what do you do with a kid that touches, you got a little kid that touches the stove. What do you do with a kid? Is it better to let him touch the stove because you don't want to whack his hand? Or is it better that you whack his hand and he never touches the stove
Well,
again?
you don't want them to touch the stove.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what I tell my kids all the time? I said, I don't care if you're the smartest. I want you to work the hardest.
Right.
I agree with what you said. It's working hard.
The ethic isn't there.
Well, we have to get it back.
And by the way, I'll give you this one. And remember I said this, folks. How many kids do you think, what percentage of kids today can even check the oil in an automobile?
I don't know.
Or change a tire? They all think it's a service thing.
Yeah.
Everybody else can do it.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah. How many?
We
do you
grew up
know?
doing
Yeah,
that,
absolutely,
right? Everybody,
yeah.
boy, girl, you
Yeah,
grew up
it's so
know how to
true.
check the oil, you know how to change
Yeah.
the tire.
Yeah.
They don't know how to do it anymore.
Yeah. Even washing the car. My kids, I get
they
so
send it
upset.
out.
They say, "Let's go to the car wash." I say, "No, go get a hose and a bucket." That's
No,
what we
you
did.
gotta send it out. You can't do that. My
Yeah.
God, that's work. They want
That's so
that's
funny.
work to them.
Yeah,
They
well.
don't know what work is.
You got a point.
They don't know what work is. You know what work is, Michael? Is this Michael Spaulding? Is that Mike Spaulding?
Yep.
Hi, Mike.
How you doing?
Where you from, Mike?
I'm originally from North Shore, Lowell, Massachusetts
Lowell,
area.
Massachusetts. Now, we haven't talked, right? I purposely do that, by the way. I don't like to talk to my guests, not because I'm a bad guy or I'm anti-social, but I find it better that I learn at the same time that my viewers learn.
Definitely.
Same thing with Gina. I didn't talk to her before. For a couple of minutes I did, but I didn't really talk to her before because I like that. It's real.
Exactly.
This show's real. There's no teleprompter. There's none of that baloney. I don't read notes. You can tell, can't you?
Oh.
All right, what kind of stuff do you do?
I'm a solo artist. Currently living
I
down the
noticed
South
that.
Shore. Yep.
Yeah.
Basically, I just write my own stuff. I just came out with my new album a couple months ago. You can find it on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, all that stuff. And after this winter, going to be hitting the road pretty hard and getting it out there.
Wow. No, what kind of stuff? What kind of stuff?
Very radio friendly. Pop, alternative rock type stuff. I walk around everywhere. People see tattoos. They're like, "You're a rock artist, aren't you?" I'm like, sure.
Really? All right, well, give us a song here.
All right, this one's Letter, and I wrote this one for the troops, all the men and women that are out there.
Oh, cool.
Here we go. What's this? A letter from you, cool. What's in this boy? A silver kiss. My dear son, I hope you get this letter. You're fighting for our freedom. It's so hard for our parents to think. In your arms again, I know it's hard on us all, but I gotta stay and be strong. I'm doing this for you and everyone who reserves the right to be free. Trust in what I say. I'll be home. I'll be home again. Dear Mom, I'm doing fine out here. I'm thinking about you every day with my children and my family. The desert heat is killing me. We're taking down the enemy. But I should be home real soon to you. So pray for me every day. Just don't forget, I'll find my way. I hope it won't be long till I get home just to be in your arms again. I know it's hard on us all, but I gotta stay and be strong. I'm doing this for you and everyone who reserves the right to be free. Trust in what I say, and I'll be home. I'll be home again. I'll be home again. This is my letter to you. This is my letter to you. This is my letter to you.
Wow, impressive. Impressive there, Michael. Impressive. I sense a Pearl Jam. Do I get that?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm trying to think of who you, and I'm not really musically inclined. In fact, I don't even listen to the radio in the car. I don't. But you sound like Pearl Jam, because I met the group before, and I was.
You did?
Yeah, I did. I was backstage with them years ago in Providence, and you sound like the lead singer
Thank
of Pearl
you.
Jam.
Thank
You
you.
sound great.
Thank you so much.
Nice job. Where do you play? Where do you perform?
Mainly Rhode Island area, South Shore, Massachusetts.
You
New
still live in
Hampshire.
Mass?
Yeah, but living in Marshfield right now. And then,
Marshfield,
New York,
Mass.
New Jersey, that area. And when spring, summer comes around, I'm going to be probably doing the East Coast, probably out to Cali for a little bit. and
Cool.
Getting it done.
For you.
I wish I had your talent. I'd be
Work hard.
I'd be touring. You know, I'd be on a cruise ship. I'd be working on a cruise ship.
That would be fun.
As a young guy, that's what
You
I would
should-
be
that,
doing.
That would be fun.
That is fun. You ever been on a cruise?
No.
Oh,
You
cruises
should
are the
go.
best. They're
I've
the
never
best.
been on a cruise either.
Are you serious?
Never been on a cruise?
I love cruises. That is the best bang for your buck.
Really?
Especially you got kids. You
Maybe
got young
my
kids.
husband's listening. I'll take
You
him
got
on a
young
cruise.
kids,
Yeah,
right?
Two. Yeah.
They're not expensive. Cruises are
Really?
very inexpensive. They're expensive if you want to have the huge room
Right.
and all that, which is crazy anyway.
don't need,
You
right.
need a room. You got 2 kids.
Yeah.
You got 2 bunk beds. You get
Yeah.
yourself an outside cabin with a balcony.
Yeah,
And
nice,
you
nice.
can go on a cruise. I've gone on a cruise 7 nights for less than $500.
No.
Without the flight, of course, not including the flight.
Right,
yeah.
right.
For less than, and by the way,
And the whole thing, food's included?
always. Food's always included in the cruise. Booze isn't, but food is. I don't drink, so that doesn't make any difference to me. But gambling and gambling and booze, and of course you're buying stuff is not included.
Right.
But not only is your food included,
Yeah.
you can have anything you want for food. They have a menu,
I've read
and they'll
about
have like
that.
5 different main courses, 5 different salads, 5 different potatoes, all that stuff. And I'll give you for an example. I had this one couple, the older couple, they'd never been on a cruise. I convinced them to go on a cruise, and the guy's looking through the menu and he can't decide what he wants. It's like a fancy dinner. I call the waiter over and I tell him what to do. He comes over, puts all five main dishes in
Come
front of him.
on.
Oh yeah, they'll do that. They want you to be happy with the food.
My kids would love that.
Oh my God, they want.
Yeah.
If the kids like ice cream, which that's my downfall.
Of course.
I
yeah.
love ice
We
cream.
all love ice cream.
You can go 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, make yourself a sundae.
That's like
Yeah, the
heaven.
setup's right there. You have the galley. You go right in the galley. You can have.
I've never done it.
You can have pizza at 2 o'clock in the morning on a cruise ship. You can have sandwiches brought to
fun.
your room, and it doesn't even
Really?
cost anything. You can have sandwiches brought to your room at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Let's do it. I've never done it.
Oh yeah, that's why
Well,
I
he's gotta go
always
play.
I always go on a diet before I go on a cruise, because you're going to
Because you're
gain
going to
weight.
gain weight.
I had 3 young couples across from me, and they had a surf and turf.
Yeah.
I called my waiter over and I told him what to do. He brings them over all extra lobsters. They think I'm the spot on. They think I didn't pay for it. I just told them what to bring. But they like that. The cruises, they like you to be happy. on
They
a
want
cruise.
you to be happy.
Yeah. So after
Once
after
I
you're
win,
done, after you're done with your
Yep.
victory here,
Yep, yep.
and you want to go on a little vacation, plan the
Check
cruise.
out a cruise.
Check out a cruise, a 7 to 10 day cruise on the
Yeah.
on the Eastern or Southern Pacific,
That would-
Southern
Eastern or-
Caribbean.
the Caribbean. The
Southern Caribbean.
That would be good for me too, because I could actually be away. Your cell
Yes.
phone doesn't work, right?
Well, it can,
You
but
can.
you can make it not work.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
might do that.
No, you go on a cruise. And sadly, I was on a cruise coming out of St. Thomas when that West Warwick disaster happened. I was coming out of St. Thomas. I actually saw it on the TV.
That was so bad.
That was terrible. It was terrible.
My brother is doctor at Kent County Hospital. He's a lung doctor, and Kent is right near Warwick, and he's
Sure.
a lung specialist. I think he was at the hospital for 2 or 3 days straight without going home because of all the smoke.
Yeah,
He said he'd never seen anything like it.
yeah, it was terrible. I had the doctor that was dealt with a lot of burn victims on the show here. A plastic surgeon on the show here after that.
Oh, really?
After that, yeah. But let's
Anyway,
get back to where you are.
Let's get back to what
Now,
we're doing here. Yes.
how did you get Mirth York? Now you're not
Yes.
a liberal
Not
Democrat,
especially,
right?
no.
Now your views are not as liberal as hers are, right?
She said
She said.
that I asked her. First of all, she made me work hard at it.
First of all, I'm shocked that you got it anyway, because didn't she work vigorously
yes,
for
yes.
one of your opponents?
The mayor of Providence. She was the one of the key leaders in his mayoral campaign.
Okay.
So it's a big deal that she switched from him to me.
Yes.
Big deal.
Now,
She
I got
switched
to
from
ask
him
you
to
now,
me.
did she switch because you're both women?
No,
Come
no,
on, come on. Did
no,
that happen?
no.
Come on, please tell me, Gina.
So this is what I started to tell you. So I went to her, and as you say, I'm from the business world,
Right.
you know, very, you know, pro-business
Right.
and whatnot. So I went to her, I said, you want your endorsement? And at first she said, well, I'm not going to endorse you just because you're a woman. She said, I want to get to know
okay.
you, and I want to hear your ideas. Anyway, long story short, we met over a lot of meetings, and I told her what I wanted to do to get the economy going again.
Right.
And at the end of the day, she said, I'm going to be with you because I think you're the best person for this economy right now. She said, I think you're the
Wow.
strongest
Wow.
candidate and the hope for the future. And it'd be nice to have a woman. But that was like an afterthought.
Right.
Yeah. Look, come on. The state's never been this bad. You've lived here
Oh,
your
it's
whole life.
terrible.
You lived here your whole life. We
Exactly.
need someone strong who's ready to go
You
on
need
day
someone
one.
that projects. There's the biggest problem. You said it in a nutshell: business.
Yeah, we need jobs,
This
period.
state is so anti-business.
Unfriendly.
It's terrible.
It's unfriendly.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Do you know? I was talking to somebody just today. How often do we have an event at the Civic Center, or the Convention Center? When's the last time you heard
Yeah.
of a Pearl Jam or one
Yeah.
of these big bands
Yeah.
going to Providence Civic Center? Do you know why?
You know why?
You don't know why.
Why? No.
Nobody knows why. Does anybody know why?
No.
Anybody know why you don't have concerts at the the beautiful Civic Center or the Dunkin' Donuts Center or the Convention Center every week like they do
Yeah,
in
other places.
Hartford and
right,
Boston?
in Hartford, yeah.
Because you got to have 9 electricians, you got to have 15 this department and this trade and that trade and 27 cops and 38 firemen.
That is a problem. You know what? One of the things I'm doing on this campaign is we're having what we call Raimondo roundtables. I just get out and I talk to people, and I did a roundtable with small businesses,
Right.
one with manufacturers, and I say to them, "What's it like to do business here? What would it take for you to add more jobs here?" They don't complain too much about taxes. Some of them do. You know what they complain about? Regulations,
Right.
bureaucracy.
Of course.
Takes too long to get a permit.
Yep.
Everything you're talking about.
Yep.
And you know what I think? We're the smallest state in the country. We should be the most streamlined.
Exactly.
What I want to do as governor is have a single place you go for all these permits. I want to brag that we're the quickest to get a permit.
And
the
we should
most
be. And we should be.
streamlined. Because we're tiny.
There are counties bigger than
Thank
us.
you. Exactly. So look, there's a lot of opportunity. Rhode Island has opportunity. We need a leader who's ready to go.
Right.
Has a little courage to get
But
it done.
you get yourself hit on the head by the unions. I hate
Yeah,
to say it.
all the time.
Unions are necessary to a point,
Yes.
but they're not as necessary as they were in the 20s and 30s.
It's funny you say that. My grandpa, my dad's dad, was a butcher. He was a meat cutter.
Right. I was an apprentice meat cutter
Were you really?
for First National. Yeah.
That's where my family worked.
Cut it out.
My father, all his brothers, his father, they all worked at First National. And they were all in the union. And my grandpa was one of the guys that started the local meat cutter union.
Yeah. Amalgamated Meat Cutters Union. I was a member. Yeah.
They were all members too.
Yeah.
So my grandpa, rest his soul, was one of the guys that started it. And he would tell them it was dangerous then. You know what I'm saying? There weren't enough regulations and controls for workers.
Right.
Protections, worker protection.
Exactly.
And so, you know, I'm not going to knock the union because my family was in it and they took care of my family and the whole thing. But here's the problem. With those pensions, if we didn't fix them, it was going to bring down the whole state.
Oh yeah.
So it's not about being anti-union, it's about fixing a
Well,
problem.
it's about the pendulum. The pendulum's got to be in the
that's
middle somewhere.
interesting.
You got to be a little
Balanced.
realistic. Look at this. A fireman in Providence supposedly made
Yeah.
$197,000,
right.
retired in 1992 or something.
not right.
We'd all like to have that.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is it's not practical.
Yeah.
And as a property owner, you keep paying,
Yeah.
you keep paying, and you keep
Yeah.
paying. And you don't get any more.
Yeah.
But these people think that they can get
Yeah, that's interesting.
the free ride like that.
Yeah, I live in Providence and property taxes are out of control. And I have a lot of friends, they can't afford it. They just can't afford it. They can afford their mortgage, but they can't afford the taxes.
The taxes.
Yeah.
The tax, and the taxes aren't going away. The mortgage will go away when you pay it off, but the taxes aren't going
No,
away.
they can't afford it. And like you said, the roads are a mess, crime is high, the schools aren't working, and you pay a lot of taxes.
Well, you know what I find. I hate to say this, 'cause I'm not against firemen. I'm not against policemen or whatever. But reality should set in. Do you know there are more than 100 more firemen in Providence than there are police officers? That doesn't make sense to me.
Makes no sense.
Makes
I
no
agree.
sense at all.
Yeah.
They would say it does, but it
politics.
doesn't
It's
because
politics.
there's more crime in Providence. There's more murders, there's stabbings, and whatever. than there are fires, I think, or bad fires anyway. Certainly bad fires.
You know, crime is a problem. People don't feel safe in the city, you know, right
That's
now.
more important, I think, to people.
Well, they cut community policing. And when you cut community policing, it's, you know, you have crime. You know, my kids go to Providence Public School,
Right.
the old Fox Point Elementary. It's now Barton.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
They go to public school?
Yeah, of course. And, you know, as a mother, I worry for them. Are they going to be safe? And that shouldn't have to be. Mothers
No, it shouldn't have to be. How old are your kids?
9 and 7.
9 and 7. Now, you got them involved in a campaign, I see?
Yeah. They love it.
Yeah?
Yeah, they love it. My son made a sign. We had a sign making party the other day. We had a bunch of people come in and make signs for the campaign. My son, who's 7, first grade, he made a sign all on his own. It says, "Gina, people want action." Isn't that good?
You come up with the whole winning himself?
All himself.
Really?
It's my favorite sign of the whole night.
Wow.
Gina, that kid's
People
right.
want action.
Don't you think he's
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Don't you
of
think he's
course,
right?
of course.
People want action.
But they don't want the same old boat. Although, I got to tell you, there's an awful lot of people out there that are very dumb when it comes to reality in politics. When I was running for office,
Yeah.
I went into North Providence and Pawtucket. I'm up in North Providence, and I'm talking to this old guy, real nice old man. And not that I'm a kid, but this guy was old. And he's talking about politics, and I'm telling him what I'm stand for and everything. He loves it. Loves that I'm Italian, the whole 9 yards.
Right, good.
And then I made the mistake of telling him that I was running as an independent. He goes, "Well, I'm sorry, I can't vote for you." I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "No, I vote Democrat all the time." I said, "Do you know my opponent?" I told my opponent's name. "No, never heard of her." I said, "Do you know anything about it?" "No." "But you got to vote for her. Even after you told me how much you liked me,
Everything
what a
you-
great guy I am, you liked everything I stand for."
That's
Yeah,
tough.
but I always vote straight Democrat.
Yeah.
And until they get rid of that master lever, the state will never be right.
Amen to that. I
It'll
agree with
never
that.
be
Get
right.
rid
The
of
master lever has to go
Yep.
the way of the dodo bird. It's got to go away.
It's got to go away.
Yeah,
Because every person like me should be accountable to the people.
exactly.
Not because I'm a Democrat or whatever, but because you should judge my work, and if you think I'm doing a good job, re-elect me. If you don't, throw me out.
That's the way it's
That's
supposed
the
to
way
be.
it should
That's
be.
the way it should be.
Yep.
And that's why I say a lot of people are stupid, period. A lot of voters shouldn't be voting because they don't know what the heck they're doing. They don't have any idea what they're doing.
What's that? What did Churchill say? Democracy is no good except it's better than the alternatives.
Or just
Something
that's
to that
about
effect,
it. Yeah, that's
something to
about
the
it. You know,
effect, yeah.
we could be in Putin's situation.
Yeah, well, there you go.
You know,
Right.
I do, and I've been to Russia a couple of times.
Have you? I've
Yeah.
never been.
Yeah.
I've never been.
I mean, it's weird. It's a contradiction of terms. You know, you get these beautiful buildings, beautiful architecture. I've been to Red Square, night, snow. I mean, absolutely beautiful. And then right next to it, you got these long cinder block buildings that a 2.0 Tremor would tear down
Yeah.
next to them.
Yeah, the Stalin type buildings. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you get on the show?
Well, I have a boxer. He's fighting
know, he
coming
looks
up.
good.
Coming up the 28th of this month, right? 28th of this month. I know you got to go,
I'm
right?
sorry, I gotta
You got to
go.
go. You got to
I
leave
gotta
me.
go. I
All
gotta
right,
leave
one
you.
last one. I got to
Shoot.
hit you with something. I got to
Come
hit you
on.
with something. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about the you were involved in the pension, fixing the pensions, whatever, and. You know, some people say that you become friendly with the unions all of a sudden.
Right.
Is that true or not true?
I was never unfriendly with them. I came to office, I inherited a pension crisis, $7 billion short of the money we needed. I worked with the General Assembly, and we fixed it. Do you
Right.
know that bill that they passed saved the people of Rhode Island over $4 billion? That's an amazing thing. Anyway, we came to a settlement. The settlement we came to preserved 95% of the savings. 95%. So these people that say I caved, this, that, and the other,
Right.
that's baloney. It's a great deal for Rhode Island. We kept 95% of the savings. The lawsuits go away. So I'll put it to you like this. I said to my lawyer, does the state have a good case? He said yes. I said, is the state going to win the case? He said yes. He said, but I can't tell you with 95% confidence we'll win the case. He said, if you can get 95% of everything and get rid of the lawsuits, you have to take that deal.
Right.
So, you don't really know me that well, but it's not about politics. It's about fixing problems.
Right.
Sometimes I have to upset the union. Sometimes I have to upset business. Sometimes, but I'm going to do the right thing for the people. What I think is the right thing.
And that's what I was known as. I used to work in the mayor's office in Pawtucket, and I took care of things. You just got to make things happen.
Bingo.
Get things done. That's why they were afraid of me. That's why they wouldn't elect me, because you couldn't tell me what to do. That was my downfall, because they couldn't say, you're doing this, you're doing it this way, you're doing that. No, it ain't happening.
There's a lot of special interests on the left and on the right. They have a lot of money, and they want to own you.
Right.
And
too much.
That's not me. That's not me.
That's absolutely the wrong way to go. But now they would say your special interest is the New York, right?
That's ridiculous. I just told you, my parents still live in the house I grew up in. Every day I go to work, I think about them and the people on Cider Lane in Greenville, and how can I help them? How can I get them a job? How can I get those kids a good school?
Right.
That's baloney. That's baloney.
Did you make money as a?
I did. I came out of law school with like $100,000 in loans.
Right.
Loans are gone, and I was successful. I'm proud of that. Not embarrassed.
No, but
of
I mean,
that.
did you make money as a treasurer? Are you
The
banking
investments,
on
you mean?
your investments?
Oh, yes, we've done very well, very well. I can't remember the number for last year, but it was one of the best, most successful investment years we've had. So yeah, it's working. That's another thing, right? Exactly. Just look at the results. The results are excellent.
Results are everything.
The results are everything.
It doesn't make any difference what you pay in a commission, as long as you get the numbers. The numbers what count. The end result is what counts. I don't care what anybody else is making, as long as I'm making money.
Exactly. And I don't mind paying a fee if I get good results.
Well, of course not.
After the fees.
That's right. That's right. That's what it's all about.
Exactly.
And again, I don't mind you. I'm in favor of unions, but there is a point where reality has to set in.
Right.
You can't be giving somebody $200,000 a year for doing nothing, and giving them uniform expense too.
Right. While at the same time we're running out of money to fund schools and buses and taxes that people can't afford. There's a balance. There's a balance
the pendulum.
That we have
the pendulum's got to be in the middle.
Yeah.
It can't be everything for every one group and forget the other people on the other side.
My mother said, you have to look out for all the people of Rhode Island.
Right.
So that's what I try to do.
There's only 1 million people.
I know.
Again.
Yeah, I know.
37 school systems, 37
39.
this, 37 that. We don't need them all.
No.
Regionalization, last but not least. What do you think of regionalization?
Got to look at it. Have to.
All right, you got to go. You
got to
leave
go.
me.
I'm sorry. I'm leaving you, Bob.
Thank you for stopping by.
This was fun.
You got to give us a song so she can sneak out of here. Will you give me a song, and then we'll go to our clip, because I got to see our clip. Don't forget that. Going that way.
Bye. Thank you.
This one's called Suffering.
Nice to see you. Was that okay?
Yeah, it was fun.
All my life, as the blood drips from my veins, seemingly impossible to tell you how I feel. Take a walk through time, find the strength to say, take me home. Take me away. Take me home. Take me away. 'Cause even though love is blind, I don't want your precious. We all seem to suffer from these problems. Broken heart, a broken home, and a broken life. A little wasted time from the drugs and the problems. Forced to find each and every one, time and time again. forgetting every day of fear and pain. Why must I scream? Take me home. Take me away. Yeah. Take me home. Take me away. Even though love is blind, I don't want your precious time. We all seem to suffer from these problems. Broken heart, a broken home, and a broken life. Take me home. Take me away. Take me away.
We're going to go way back. We'll start with the very first jaywalk, and we'll just show you some of our favorite moments. Take a look.
When we went out in the street the other night, we did a little jaywalking.
Who was the first man on the moon?
Armstrong.
That's right. What was his first name?
Louis.
Louis Armstrong. Has there ever been a female astronaut on the moon?
Was the chimpanzee that went up there a girl?
I don't think the chimpanzee went to the moon.
Something did. There's Neil Armstrong, and then I think there was an ape gorilla. It was a monkey. It was something.
So Neil Armstrong went up first,
Yeah.
and then when it was safe, they sent a monkey. Is that what you're saying?
I believe.
Yeah. Who was the famous French emperor that has a pastry named after him?
Is that creme brulee? No.
Creme brulee, General Creme brulee. Let's say your girlfriend was going to Bangkok for 2 straight weeks. Where would she be?
At home with me.
At home with you.
I got some lyrics here. Can you finish them for me?
Sure.
Okay. Here's a Jimmy Buffett song. If the phone doesn't ring...
Don't answer it.
No, I'm sorry, sir. You have a pickup truck?
Sure I do.
Dog?
Ford.
This is like the first time my husband and I have been out, since my daughter was born. It's like,
Now, is he a cowboy?
no, he's a Mexican.
Where there's smoke, there's
people smoking.
where there's smoke, there's people smoking.
Yep.
Well, I mean, that makes sense, but that's the expression. Where there's smoke, there's...
There's a chimney.
Yeah, but I mean, where there's smoke, what else happens around smoke?
People get sick.
Yeah, well, yeah, but smoke comes from what?
Oh, from wood.
Well, yeah, but what happens to the wood is what? What happens to the wood? Where there's smoke, there's...
This is a tough question.
Where there's smoke, there's...
There's a...
If you see smoke, what does that mean?
There's fire.
Fire! Where there's smoke, there's fire. Okay.
How many commandments are there?
10.
Can you name any of them?
Freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech.
What was the Gettysburg Address? Have you heard of it?
Yes, I've heard of it. I don't know the exact address.
I don't know the exact address.
Hey, we're back. Nick DeLomba, how you doing?
Great. Yourself?
Good. Now, you're a fighter,
Yep.
boxer.
I'm boxing, not MMA, boxing.
Oh, it's MMA?
No, it's not
Not
MMA,
MMA.
it's
It's real boxing. I thought you threw me off there. I thought you were
A lot of
telling me it
people-
was MMA.
No, a lot of people ask, MMA or boxing? Do you do both? I just do boxing.
Boxing.
Yeah.
That's a little more sane, I think.
Yeah.
The MMA boxing is a little crazy.
Yeah,
for
my
me.
ears look a little better when I'm done.
Yeah. How come they don't have cauliflower ears?
It's all the rolling, the wrestling, the pushing against the mat like this toughens up their ears.
Yeah, they
Makes it
all look
swell,
like they have
yeah.
cauliflower in their
Yeah.
ears, right?
what it
I
is.
thought that was just a deformity on one or two people, but then I
Nah,
seen more of
they
them
all
have
it,
that.
Yeah, it's from the wrestling with no headgears on. They don't just go in there and they just wrestle around, roll around the mats.
My God, they got to have their brains
Yeah.
pounded in. Really, you talk about in football where they're dealing with the concussions.
Same
How
thing
many
in-
concussions
same,
they have in
same
MMA?
thing in hockey. They
Yeah.
hockey. The old days used to a lot of bodies thrown around, laying around. Now everything's a penalty for contact to the head,
Right,
hitting the wrong way.
Well,
It's all
by the
worried about
way, I
concussions.
remember when I used to watch hockey, they didn't wear helmets.
Yeah.
Back in the day, Bobby Orr days and Busick
Those are
and
the good old days,
McKenzie
the
and
good
those
old
guys.
hockey.
That's real hockey. Those guys, none of them had teeth.
No
but
teeth,
no
but-
teeth, but they had they had scars all. Even I remember when the goalies didn't even have masks. Didn't even wear masks. I remember a Life magazine. They had a close-up picture of the New York Rangers. I think it was the New York Rangers goalie. He did not have a square inch on his face that didn't have a scar on it. He was cut everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a little crazy. I think the mask is important for the goalie, but now it's gotten crazy. But boxing, I like boxing. Boxing shows skill, and and not only skill, but you got to know you got to think.
You got to use your mind out there. A lot of people think it's just Neanderthals going out there slugging it out.
Not at all. Not at all.
You got to know when to punch, when to move.
And you got to pace yourself too.
Yes.
To be able to last how many rounds you go. No, I understand most boxing amateurs it's 3 rounds.
Yep.
And most professionals
When they first start out,
it's 4 rounds.
Yep.
And you fight 6 rounds.
I did. Yep, I did 6-round fights. My first one.
That's a stretch when you fight 6 rounds, huh?
Yeah, I wanted to do something different. Most Olympians, most national champions, they all do 4 rounds. They do the 4-rounders. You know what I mean? I didn't have the luxury to win a national title or to make the Olympic team. Fell up short in the semifinals of the qualifiers for the Olympics. 12.
Oh, you did try out?
Yeah,
though,
I tried out. Lost by 2 points in semifinals.
Oh, no kidding, yeah?
Yeah, but I wanted to make a statement. I wanted to show them I'm going to be here in this town to stay for a long time. I want to show them what I was made of.
Where are you from?
I'm from Cranston.
From Cranston, huh? So, and I know you're friendly with Tiger.
Gary
Boletto.
Tiger Boletto. Yes, actually, I have his Boletto Strong Band on today.
Oh, that was so sad. My God, I was there. I went to the event they had at the Convention Center there in the was it Convention Center or Civic Center? Civic Center.
Yeah.
They had for Tiger. I knew Tiger.
Matter of fact,
well.
he's a long-term friend of mine. I look up to him. He was managing me till his freak accident where he broke his neck.
And if you don't know, folks, Tiger Boletto, Gary Boletto, broke his neck playing with his kids in the backyard, and he had a pipe between 2 trees, and I guess he was up on the pipe, and he fell forward, and he actually snapped his neck this way. Now, I got a titanium plate in my neck.
Yeah.
I got 3 vertebrae. I broke 3 vertebrae, but I didn't break, fortunately for me, the one that he broke. That paralyzed him.
Yeah. It's very unfortunate. I mean, good things happen. Good
Bad,
people have bad things happen
right.
to them. It's very unfortunate. He's not a better guy than Gary Tiger Boletto. He's a longtime mentor to me. He's helped me every step of the way. Even still, with his injury, he's looking out for me. I talk to him throughout the week, asking me how the fights are going when I'm fighting, how's training camp. He's a great guy. I never meet anyone more genuine than him.
Yeah. Now, what do you fight? What weight limit?
I fight at welterweight.
Welterweight.
In
That's
boxing,
what,
it's 147.
147,
Yep.
right? To what? What's
It's the limit's 147. The weight class
147
below
high
me,
end,
the weight class below me is 140. Anything in between 40 and 47.
And what's that? Featherweight below you?
It's junior welterweight.
Junior welterweight. Yeah. And how long you been fighting?
I've been fighting going on, I think, 8 years now.
What got you into fighting, boxing? Over playing football or baseball?
Well, I played all kinds of sports when I was a kid. Played baseball. Baseball was my grandfather's favorite sport. I didn't really care too much for it.
My favorite sport too.
Yeah,
baseball.
it was my grandfather's favorite sport. I played it for him right up until high school.
Really?
I was big into hockey. Good hockey.
Oh, you like the action, and that's your thing, huh?
That's what it is.
That's your mantra. You like the physical contact.
Like the physical contact. Yeah, I was hanging around with some friends, getting in trouble. One of my friends brought me to the gym. People were starting to worry about me and my family. I started going to the boxing gym and I really, really opened my eyes. You know what I mean? There's so much more that I have to give, and there's so much more out there in the world than why go out and hang around with friends just because we think something's funny? Knuckleheads get in trouble. You know what I mean?
Right, right. You mean something? Doing something.
Doing
that you
something
think is funny.
positive with my life,
Right.
rather than doing something negative just to get hurrah out of people. People like you for something silly. I'd rather make a name for myself.
It's called peer pressure,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Yeah, we all did that. Every
Yeah.
kid did. I don't care how old you are, how young you are. When you're growing up, you're involved in that peer pressure thing.
Yeah,
And I did it.
you want the older kids to look up to you, and now as times have turned, now the older kids, I'm younger, they're looking up to me for everything that I've done in my life.
There you go. There you go. So, how does your girlfriend like the fact you're getting your head pounded? You're getting fighting, you're whacking, you're hitting people, they're hitting you.
She likes it when I hit them and I don't get hit. That's how she likes it. Tells me stick and move, don't
But
get hit.
it doesn't work that way.
Not all
Sometimes
the
you gotta
time.
take a hit.
Sometimes you gotta.
Sometimes you want to take a hit just so you get the other guy in a position where you can.
Yeah, sometimes you
clock
got.
him.
Sometimes you got to take a little to give a little.
Yeah,
But-
exactly. Some of the greatest fighters that ever lived, Rocky Marciano used to take a lot of hits.
Yeah. Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali, unfortunately, that's
Fortunately.
what put him in the
Yep.
position he's in now, because early on in his fighting days, he never got hit.
Yep.
He
That's
really
what it
didn't,
is.
you know. When
You look at- and then
what was
you-
his name before Muhammad Ali, do you know?
Cassius Clay.
Cassius Clay.
Yep.
Before, in his early years, he would never get hit.
No.
He was such a classy fighter. He was probably the greatest fighter that ever lived.
Yeah.
And he would never get all
That's
those
the thing. You
Marciano,
last
Rocky Marciano.
longer in this game when you don't take any punishment.
Right.
The more you can hit and not get hit, you're gonna last longer.
Exactly,
And
exactly.
people don't see that. People want to go out there and be I got that guy. Bloody, it was a war. I mean, that's great and all, but when I get older, I want to be able to go outside and play football with my kids.
Yeah, you
know
don't
what
want
I
to
mean?
be drooling on yourself,
Yeah, no,
you know, right?
not
You
at
don't want
all.
to be half dead and no brains left, right?
That's right.
And that's what you got to avoid. You don't want to be hit
No.
in any fight. How many fights have you had?
As an amateur, I've had probably about 77 amateur fights.
Are you kidding me? You
Yeah,
had that many
77.
fights?
Yeah,
Holy good God! And that's in the ring.
that's in the ring.
How many outside the ring?
Outside the ring, only a few. I try to keep it in the ring.
Well, I find it, and that's good. That's good because I find a true fighter doesn't fight outside the ring. The real good fighters, they're smart. They don't fight because you don't want to get in a fight outside the ring.
It's not worth it. You know what I
No,
mean?
because you can get. First of all, especially when you're professional.
Your hands are registered.
Your hands are registered.
Yep.
Now you're hitting with a deadly weapon. So if you hit a guy that, as you know, in a bar room in a fight, you can go to jail. It's a felony.
Yeah.
Right?
It's charged. You're looking at time for something that you could have just bit your tongue and been the better man and walked away.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing you learn in karate and
The discipline.
discipline. You got to have that discipline. So you're fighting on the 28th of this month.
28th of this month.
At
Twin River Casino.
Twin Rivers Casino under
Jimmy Birchfield.
Jimmy Birchfield's CES.
Yep.
CES. What time is that fight?
Fights usually go off. They start about 7 o'clock. Doors open about 6:30.
And how many fights are that night going on that night?
It all depends. We normally have about 5, 6. It depends. In the pros, it depends on how many rounds we have.
And
how
you
many-
said
how many
6-round
fighters.
fight.
Yeah, 6 round.
That's a long fight to
Yeah.
start out with. Well, I mean, there are obviously 10-round fights. There used to be 15-round fights. Remember?
Yeah,
well, you don't
those
remember
championsh-
that day.
those are the
Then
championship
there was
rounds.
12s. Then they knocked them down to 12, right?
Yep.
And then they knocked them down to 10 now. Are still any 12s? Are still any
There's
12s?
still 12s.
There's
12s
no
are the
15s anymore.
No more 15s. 12s are the championship rounds. Most fights, when it's not a championship or for a title, it's usually 10 rounds, and the championship's are 12.
Right. So could you see yourself fighting in a 10-round fight?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you could last. You could stay up there.
I'm ready to go tomorrow.
Really?
Ready.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, we train hard.
Now, who are you fighting? Who are you fighting this fight?
We're working on an opponent right now. The opponent's to be announced. We're negotiating between a few camps, but doesn't matter who I fight. To put him in the ring. I train hard. This is what I.
Are you
live to
right-handed
do.
or left-handed?
I'm a right-hander.
Right-handed. What do you think fighting a left-handed? I know people
I
that
fought-
don't fight. They don't like that.
Yeah,
They don't like
a
fighting
lot of
left-handed.
fighters don't like left-handers, but that's the difference between me having a lot of experience in the amateurs opposed to some guys who only had like 10 fights in the amateurs. I've seen a lot of lefties, righties.
Right. Now, why don't they like left-handers?
It's just everything's backwards. It's different. It's awkward.
They stand different.
They
stand different. They're fighting because
They're throwing
this is
punches
the
from
clock
different
fight.
areas.
Yeah, they're jabbing with their right and they're holding the left back versus the other way around.
the other way
right?
around.
And if you're a righty and they're a lefty, it really messes you up.
You tangle up, you bump heads, you tie your feet up. Most people don't know how to deal with it, but it's a slight fix, a little adjustment, and it turns into an easy night.
Did you ever shift? Did you ever shift, go to a left?
Yeah, I've done it once in a while, but I mean, my defense is so good as a right-hander. There's no need to. A lot of people think when you switch off like that, you're confused, you're hurt. There's no need for me to do it. I can figure someone out no matter what.
Yeah. And what's your favorite punch?
I don't know, probably left hook to the body.
Yeah, a body puncher, yeah?
Body punch.
It's pretty smart, actually, because most people go for the kill. You know, they want to go for the head all the time.
Yeah.
And some people...
You got to mix it up.
Exactly. Not only that, some people, you can hit them all day in the head.
Hit them all day in the head. The body's what slows you down.
Exactly.
Chop the tree down, as they say.
You get them in the kidneys, you get them in the side, you get them in the gut, in the liver, and that's what's going to take them down. Slows them down.
Slows them down.
Slows them down. That's when their arms move down away from their face, they're guarding their face. That's when you can get them, right, in the later fight.
Yep.
So we'll see you on the 28th.
28th, Twin River Casino.
Twin River.
Thank you.
Best of luck. Hang in there. We got to say bye to Michael. You got to give us a song, take us out of here.
Yeah, I'll do that for you.
What time we got left? 2 minutes? Well, folks, thank you for spending an hour with Bob. And Mike's going to take us out of here. Mike Spaulding of where now?
Marshfield, Massachusetts.
Marshfield, Massachusetts. Thank you for spending an hour with Bob, folks. Until next time, see ya.
Someday we'll fly so high out of here. Someday I'll say what you want to hear. Someday I'll be your every single thing. Someday I'll say why I brought you here. And you say that you wanna feel like an angel. And I know that I could never be. And I'll say that you took everything you came for. Baby, now you're everything. Oh, you're everything to me. Someday I'll know while there's angels in the sky. Someday I'll say why you were left behind. You say that you wanna feel like an angel. And I know that I could never be. And I'll say that you took everything you came for. Baby, now you're everything. Oh, you're everything to me. Someday you're gonna love. Someday we're gonna fly. Someday we're gonna fly straight down to hell. And you say that you wanna feel like an angel. And I know that I could never be. And I'll say that you took everything you came for. Baby, now you're everything. You're everything to me. Oh, you're everything to me.